Hello, friends. This is Ernest Christian of the Earnest Speaking Unfiltered podcast. Happy New Year, first off. This is the first episode of 2023. I know I had said that I was going to try to get some episodes in out the shoot for the start of the new year, but, life happens sometimes, and, when you have a family that, kids get sick, and in fact, my kids have been out of school the last couple of days because of, my oldest son had was it hand, foot, mouth virus, we call that? And he had spots in his mouth and bumps over his hands and his foot and feet, for that matter. We had to keep him out of school this couple of days, so it's been a lot going on there. So a lot of my time has been with that and taking care of that, and even the days I would have free to do this podcast or any of my podcasts, for that matter, it's been a challenge. So we just do what you gotta do. Of course, like this is unfiltered. Like don't theme music here. There's nothing. You hear my kids in the background. Too bad. It is what it is. But I am in studio, which is cool. I don't do these shows in studio as much as I want to. Although, to be honest with you, the whole idea of this feed is to do things on the fly, do things that are time sensitive, and not have to worry about having to have time sequestered to my studio. But I'm gonna go ahead and just lock into this one and do what you gotta do. So, what I'm going to try to do going forward with this show, especially too, is focus on, rather than just going nuts and just trying to find everything in the sun, try to find per episode. I could do every day. It'd be nice. Find three stories a day that are intriguing to me that I want to dive into. Maybe a fourth one if I'm feeling frisky. That's my word again. But that's kind of my vibe right now. I'm trying to keep it, find a way to do the show, but also do it in a way that's efficient, not too long. We tend to do this, 10, 15 minutes-ish, although there's been a couple episodes we've done recently that's gone over that time. And again, it's not on purpose. This happens. It's not that way. But the story right now I want to touch on is the one about Jim Harbaugh. He's returning to Michigan for now. I put for now because I still think there's a chance that Jim Harbaugh will go to the NFL at some point. So a lot of rumors has been out about Harbaugh in the last week or so since the shocking loss to TCU last week. In the college football playoff semifinal, rather, last week. Here, I'm going to read a statement that Jim Harbaugh put out today, real quick, because there's a lot of things here I'm reading in here that, has me cause a pause here. Here he is. He goes, "I'm aware of the rumors and speculation over the past few days. College and NFL teams college and NFL teams have great interest in all our personnel, from players to coaches to staff. And I truly believe that it is a testament to the strength of our University of Michigan football program. As I stated in December, while no one knows what the future holds, I expect that I will be enthusiastically coaching in Michigan in 2023. I have spoken with President Santa Ono and Athletic Director Ward Manuel and appreciate their support of me and our program. Our mission as Wolverines continues, and we're preparing for the 2023 season with great passion and enthusiasm. As a legendary coach, Bo Schembechler said, quote, those who stay will be champions." Now, I have no doubt that Jim Harbaugh wants to be here long term. And when I say long term, he's been here, 7, 8 seasons now? So he's definitely committed to a long time, especially in this climate. But it's something to be said, though, when reading the statement, that what I take from him is that, yes, wants to stay. I also think there's validity to those rumors about him leaving. I think Jim Harbaugh, while he wants to stay in Michigan, is also intrigued by the idea of trying and having another crack in the NFL. Let's not forget, though, in comparison to other coaches that tried in the NFL, Nick Saban being one, and Bobby Petrino being another one, and other countless coaches, Urban Meyer being another one, who tried and failed in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh did not fail in the NFL. Okay, in fact, Jim Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh's record is actually pretty high for, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat. Don't quote me on this right now because I don't have it in front of me. I saw a stat that Jim Harbaugh is actually 6th or 7th all-time winning percentage in the NFL. Now, granted, that's over the course of 5 or 6 seasons in San Francisco, but still, he went to a Super Bowl. He had a Niner season was very competitive and a contender almost every year he was there. So I do think, in one hand, there is definitely intrigue for him to want to go back to the NFL at some point, whether it's this year, next year, or in 5 years. Who knows? And I do think he will be back in the NFL at some point. He's not old. He's in his 50s, mid-50s? Yeah, he's not old. He will be in the NFL at some point in the next decade or so. Who knows? So I'm not surprised. Reading the statement though, obviously, to me anyway, it looks like he's non-committal. It doesn't seem like he's committed to the NFL, to Michigan. You know, it feels like that if the right offer is there, if the right situation is there, that I think he will consider going to the NFL if the right situation presents itself and the right financial situation presents itself, of course. You know, is the right jobs out there? Who knows? But I also think he wants to. I also think at the same time he wants to see this process through. Okay, he's gotten to the Marines the last 2 years to the college football playoff. Obviously, both times losing in the semifinals. So obviously, the next goal is to get to the final and ultimately win the whole damn thing. But I do think Jim Harbaugh will be Michigan coach for now. I do think he'll stay at least one more year. But I do think, depending on how things play out next year, especially how many jobs open up in the next year or so, that if the right situation opens up, that he will definitely consider it, depending on how things shake out in the NFL. So look, will he be there next year in Michigan? In my opinion, yes, he will. But I'll be honest, I think Jim Harbaugh right now is probably year to year. I don't think it's foolish to think that Jim Harbaugh is year to year right now when it comes to Michigan football. So that's just that for me. Anyway, let's get to NFL picks real quick. Week 18, this is the last one against the spread of the year. I've enjoyed doing these on my own, actually, last couple of weeks, and I'm going to continue doing it. Maybe I'll make this a thing next year. We'll see how that goes. As I pull up the schedule for this week, and here it is, Bovada. All right. Won't take much time here. Let's go first with there's 2 Saturday games here. You got Kansas City Chiefs at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites, over under 52 points. I think, given the situation with the Bengals and Bills game, that will not be rescheduled, and most likely they're going to use this as percentage points. Chiefs win this game. I believe they are going to be the 1 seed going forward. Chiefs will win this game on the road. I think, in fact, they'll win this game. But you know what? Divisional optics, bad teams, players playing for jobs. I think Vegas keeps this game close. So give me Vegas plus 10 on here for this game. But Chiefs do win this game and win the 1 seed in the AFC. Next one here is, of course, the AFC South for the division here. Wins division. That is Tennessee Titans at the Jaguars. Jaguars 7-point favorites. Over under is 40 points. I think same situation. I think Tennessee Titans will try to keep it competitive, but the Jaguars are playing some great football. Although last time these two teams played, Jaguars did blow them out in Tennessee, and I believe Tennessee Titans were healthy in that game. Best the over. Give me the over in this game at 40. All right, Sunday games. You got Bucks at Falcons. Falcons are 4-point favorites. Over under 40.5. We don't know what Tom Brady and the Stars are playing. But I will take the under in this game at 40.5. We got Patriots at Bills. Again, another game that we don't know how Buffalo's going to show up. Bills are 7.5-point favorites. Over under 42. I'm going to take the Patriots on the points here for now. I do think the Bills, with the improvement of DeMar Hamlin, of course, shout out to him and thoughts prayers to him as well, to his health improving day by day since the Monday tragic Monday incident in Cincinnati. We'll have these guys motivated to play hard for him. So I give me the Bills here to win, but I think the Pats might keep it close. So give me the Pats on the points. Thus clinching the playoff spot. No, I'm sorry. No, Pats will lose the game. I apologize about that. So Bills will win this game. So I'll keep the number 7 seed open. Going the rest of the way. Sorry about that. I did this last night on the student game podcast with Kyle Nash, and we were doing the game straight up. I'm not used to doing games straight up. I always do spreads. It's more fun that way. Vikings at Bears. Vikings at 8.5-point favorites. Over-under is 43 points. Give me Minnesota because Nathan Peterman is starting for the Bears, and that's all you need to know. Ravens at Bengals. Bengals 7.5-point favorites. Over-under is 40.5. Give me the Bengals here to cover. No Lamar Jackson either, too, especially. Yeah, I'm good with that. Texans at Colts. Colts are 2.5-point favorites. Over-under 38 points. Give me the under. This is going to be a terrible game. Who's watching this game? Seriously. Jets at Dolphins. Dolphins 1-point favorites. Over under 3.5. If Dolphins win, Pats lose at the same time. Dolphins win the playoffs. Obviously my pick. I'm going to go with the Dolphins to cover the spread, even with Scott Thompson as quarterback, because I need him to get in the playoffs. Panthers at Saints. Saints are 3.5-point favorites. Over under 42 points. Give me the over in this game. Why not? Give me the over in this game. See a little bit of fireworks at the end of the season. All right, we got Browns at Steelers. Steelers are 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 40.5. Steelers win this game with a combination of a Dolphins loss and a Pats loss. They're in the playoffs. I think Mike Tomlin will continue the streak of 0 losing seasons since he's been the coach. I hope he gets that. Steelers win this game. Steelers cover the spread. Chargers at Broncos. Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. Over under 39.5. Give me the Chargers here because if they win this game, they'll be the 5 seed in the AFC. I think they'll win this game outright. Giants at Eagles. Eagles are 14.5-point favorites. Over under 43 points. Obviously, Giants have nothing to play for. They're locked in the 6th seed. Congrats to my Giants, of course. The Eagles, we need this win. If they win, they're number 1 seed in the NFC. They need this win. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is playing. That's a lot of fucking points, though. Give me Giants the points. A lot of points there. Eagles win this game, but I think Giants the points. All right, we got the Niners. The Cardinals at Niners, rather. Niners are 14.5-point favorites. Over under 40 points. If the Niners win, Eagles lose. The Niners are number 1 seed. If they maintain, of course, the Niners maintain. They win here, at least 2 seed. Give me Niners to cover the spread because the Cardinals is freaking fucking horrible. Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks 10-point favorites. Over under 41.5 points. Give me the Seahawks to win this game not outright. You know what? Give me the Rams on the points here. If the Seahawks win this game, that eliminates the Detroit Lions from the playoff contention, which is interesting because they play the last game of the night. Cowboys at Commanders. Cowboys are 7.5-point favorites. Over under 41 points. If the Cowboys win this game, combination with the Eagles losing and the Niners losing as well, they will be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Don't see it happening, though. But give me Dallas anyway as, who's that? Sam Howell is starting for the Commanders this week, apparently. Sam Howell, whatever his name is. Whatever. And finally, Sunday game. Biggest game of the weekend, obviously, by virtue of the combination here. Lions and Packers. Packers 5-point favorites. Over under 4.5 points. I mentioned a while ago that if Seattle wins the game against the Rams, Detroit's eliminated. If Seattle loses, though, Seattle's out, and the winner of Detroit, Green Bay, gets into the playoffs. Green Bay is the only team, however, with the winning scenario. So the Green Bay wins their game. It doesn't matter what Seattle does or Detroit does. Obviously, they have to beat them. Green Bay will be the number 7 seed in the NFC, get the last wildcard spot. I am taking the Packers to win, a slight cover here. They are playing good football, and Aaron Rodgers being seeing the light. The defense is playing much better. Special teams playing much better. Running game is playing great, and Aaron Rodgers is not having to carry the load. Give the Packers here at Lambeau. So there it is, your picks, Week 18 in the National Football League against the spread. Last thing if I touch on here before I get out of here, the NBA MVP race has been very fascinating. We're now early January, of course. Now we got a lot of basketball ahead of us. It's got all February, March, April, plus all January. But the MVP race has been fantastic because, like, right now, I said it, I think last time. If I had to vote right now, it'd be Nikola Jokic. But right now, this is a race that can go really 6 or 7 deep. You're talking about Nikola Jokic. You're talking about Joel Embiid. You're talking about Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum. And I'll tell you what, even Donovan Mitchell has a case to be made here as well, too. There's a lot of guys you can get in that race. And I'll tell you that it's been such a great few weeks in the NBA. A lot of big scoring. I mentioned Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's a lot of great stories right now in the NBA going on, and I'm really enjoying what's happening. Like I said, this could be the most competitive and wide-ranging NBA MVP race maybe ever. Now, obviously, team success also plays into this too, especially. So it's important that teams continue to win. Like, Luka is legitimately in the race now, especially right now, because the Mavs have been on a roll. They started off the season pretty sluggish, but now they won 7 games in a row as of recording. So that has now propelled them into the conversation, you know. And all of the teams here that are in the race are their teams are, you know, a combination of them playing well, that their teams are playing very well as well too, and it has definitely added more intrigue to the race. This has been a fun year. The parity in this league has been fantastic, and I know I can't complain at all. I really can't complain at all. So, like I said, it's a very tight race. Like I said, I would still give it Jokic right now currently. But to me, it's Jokic, but it's also a bunch of guys that's right there with him. Honestly, I think that's it for now. As I guys told you guys on the Unrestricted podcast, the main show, I am doing a weekly mini podcast on the Huddle Up podcast feed. The show I appear on every single week, every single Tuesday throughout the football season, and we've added some little more content on that feed. I'm contributing now an NBA show every week, 10 minutes, 15-minute episodes. Try to keep it short and sweet. 5 observations of things that I see in the league that intrigue me. But we're also likely, maybe as early as next week, I'll give you official word in the next few days. My buddies Zach and Chris, Zach Degenerate, Chris Manic, the professor himself. We did this last year. We're going to do it again most likely next week or two. Dusting off our podcast we did last year. In the paint, we're probably going to keep the name for the time being. We did every week, us three. We're going to do a weekly NBA show of us three, just having banter and conversation about the league at large, which will have its own feed. We'll figure that out in the next couple of days. I'll announce it to you guys once we get to that point. Once we figure out what day we'll do the next episode. We did this last year, and then we stopped once the season was over. And I considered not doing it again, but you know what? We'll do it, and if it works out, works out. Doesn't work out, we'll kill the feed. No big deal, right? So anyway, that's it for now. I'm Ernest Christian, Earnest Podcast. This is the Earnest Unfiltered podcast. More time-sensitive stuff. So again, I'm on Twitter at EJChristian7. And until then, we'll talk to you guys soon. Later.